Alright, so we got a book review. And it is Star Trek Picard, the classic Chronicles. This is a 180-page book, soft cover, that covers everything about Picard up to season 1 of Discovery. Yeah, I know, you're like, what? This is from Titan Books. There's a spine. I grabbed this up because, I love Captain Picard. I grew up with Picard. And I like Patrick Stewart as a person. Well, it's actually Titan Comics, but it's Titan Books. This came out September 2019, so it's only a few months old. And we're going to go through this. What this book covers... So there's the table of contents. What this covers is basically everything about Picard, his persona, his upcoming, Patrick's viewpoint on him, and that's literally what this is about. You get interviews. There are tons of pictures throughout, so there's tons of multi-page spreads. There's tons of just docs and everything. So we're just going to go through this for a pick run. So it's going to be difficult. So let me do that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Not by much, but still. What I learned that they compared him to a lot of different people. And what they also did was it covers like his point of view, Patrick's point of view, and the cast point of view. You also get memorable quotes. You get verses. You get the perfect 10. What else? It basically showcases the struggles and triumphs of Next Generation as it came out. And you get the previously on Star Trek, which covers what happened previously from like the original series and stuff. And also you have the saga continues and sidesteps. These are super important because they showcase all the books and when they take place. So here's season 1 of TNG. These are the books that take place during season 1, and they're in order. So if you're a bookworm and you enjoy books and having the full timeline of Trek, there you go. So it's a lot of fun. This was an interesting article, too, about Pulaski. When in season 2, Gates McFadden left because she was unhappy about her role as Crusher. Like, there was no evolution, and Denise Crosby was unhappy because Tasha Yar wasn't evolving as well. So when Denise's character was killed off and Gates left, they brought on, what was her name? Diana Muldaur as Kate Pulaski. In writing Pulaski's character for season 2, the writing staff learned how to better do Captain Crusher. Foreshadowing. Dr. Crusher's character more justice. And there's multiple comparisons between these are the traits that every captain should have. You have initiative, judgment and decisiveness, integrity. That's my boy. Courage, bearing and tact. Loyalty, endurance, justice. So, I wish this was an easier book to hold down, but it's not. And then they broaden the canvas, and they go into detail of how like I said, how everyone's evolved, and the saga continues, and side steps are always at the bottom of the page, so you don't ever miss them. Um, they go over, you know, who was involved in season 3, who came, who left. They go in depth about Wesley Crusher, which is kind of funny. That was hilarious. That whole article was just too funny. Well, I'm trying. There was so much they covered in this, and this damn spine is so hard to work with. That's why I hate softcover books. They are so hard to work with when you want to turn the page. And they go into the Borg as well. Like, this covers everything in TNG, which is pretty amazing. And originally, fun fact, the Borg would have had were originally going to be parasites and bugs, but the budget didn't allow for it, so they had to scale down to what they had available. And I found out something else with her. People didn't like Shelby at first. I didn't know that. I was watching TNG when I was a kid, and I enjoyed the hell of the show. Most of us, well, if you were born in the 80s, if you're a 90s baby, you probably grew up with TNG. Or you grew up with the original series because your parents watched it religiously. Yeah. But yeah, I found out people didn't like her. This was an eye-opening book. Like, I didn't know a lot of stuff about this. And would I recommend this to you and friends? Fuck yeah. Because you learn a lot about everything. This is basically a full behind the scenes of TNG. You learn about Guinan, you learn about Vash, Troy. Originally, this is funny, Marina was originally going to be Tasha Yar, and Denise was going to be Troy. That's funny. That would have made an interesting, whatchamacallit, concept switch up. Probably in an alternate universe, that's what they did. But yeah, like everything, like the previously on Star Trek, you learn about everything in all these books that they talk about, and how it goes back to the original series and other stuff. It's an amazing thing. A lot of this was, people were, what was it? A lot of this was new stuff that I'm learning about. Like, the fans were mad that the show got darker because they were so used to the, upbeat tone and all that. And how, when Gene Roddenberry made if you made it a bad guy, they always, they resolved their conflict and shit. They were never like pure evil and whatnot. So that was interesting. This, oh man, episode was amazing. Like, I like how they did the whole dark trend. And for this Chain of Command part 1 and 2, yeah, that is really Patrick Stewart buck naked. Yep, I learned that from I think it was Watch Mojo or something, like top 10 performances or some shit. And yeah, he went all out because he was in theater for years before he did Trek. And another fun fact about him, Patrick, when he came on board for TNG, two things. One, they had him wearing a toupee, which looked fucking ridiculous. Two, he still had his bags packed in his trailer because he didn't know whether or not the show would take off or not. And that's the case. That used to be the case, decades ago with a lot of, shows and stuff. Because people would try out and get the pilot would get green lit and not many of them knew whether or not a first season would even happen. It's a lot to consider. Um, you get insight into Q, which I really loved. That was beautiful. I couldn't believe how much was covered in this book. It's a beautiful book. Lower decks, that's slang for the secondary characters. Oh, he's 5'7", by the way. I found that out. What was I watching? I think it was one of Space Doc's videos or something. It was our Space Doc or somebody I watched on YouTube. Might have been Junk Ball. Yeah, it was Junk Ball. Yeah, it was Junk Ball's suit. Not suit. Costume changes. That's what it was. Yeah, because the Trek uniforms changed over the years. So, yeah. The Lower Decks pays homage to the secondary characters that, they don't get much recognition and stuff. And were basically, written off. So, that sucks. Then we got interview with Rick Berman and stuff. There's tons of interviews in here. What else? And then it goes into how it reinvented the Trek universe. And all that. And then there's the top 10 episodes of TNG. I'm glad Darmok made the cut. Like, I love Darmok. That is one of my top favorites. I was kind of surprised Encounter at Farpoint didn't make the cut, though. But, it is what it is. And then we got the movies, which were really amazing. Like, a lot of this was, let me see. A lot of people didn't like the movies, depending on what it was. And it goes in depth into that. I won't go into the whole article because, that's a lot to work with. Yeah. But yeah, like you have, then it just, it goes into all this good shit. A fun fact with Generations. Here we go. Yeah, and when you come to the movies, the movie section, it's just multiple pictures, and it's basically spoilers galore. Fun fact. Malcolm McDowell and... Where is it? Come here. Give me a damn picture. Yeah, Malcolm McDowell and Patrick Stewart both worked in the same theater company for years before, so they're friends, so they know each other. I did not know that. That was so cool. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, like you get all these little screenshots that are spoilers all throughout. I was like, that's nice. But yeah, that was really cool. I didn't think they would show spoilers for the movie, though, but it's whatever. Then you got Kirk. But yeah, this book is definitely worth owning. Like, you learn a lot about some of the characters in this book. And the thing with Wesley is that people thought he was Gary Sue and all that shit, like he knew everything and whatnot. But, it's whatever. I don't think that. Yeah. But I enjoy Star Trek. I love TNG. The TNG era really pioneered more to the franchise than people let on or even want to acknowledge, because some people will just stick with the original series and that's it. Or some people will stick with, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, and Discovery, and just ignore whatever. You know, it's crazy. And we got Nemesis. Oh, not Nemesis. Oh, dumbass. First Contact. My bad. It's the same color scheme, just the wrong title. Yeah. I do love First Contact. Like, that was one of my top favorite movies. And this was, now we're up to Insurrection. This was Jonathan's first time directing. Oh, no. First time directing a movie. That's what it was. Because, as you find out reading this, everybody in the show got a chance to direct an episode for the most part, which was really cool. And it's always fun to see that because, you know, they've been with it for so long, and then, you know, people get a chance to direct something they love and have been a part of for years. So, you know, that's awesome. His First Contact. I like that dress uniform. That is one of my favorite dress uniforms. And we got Insurrection. There we go. Insurrection's good, but I don't know. For me, it's like, it's decent, but not like hardcore awesome. Though for some fans, it feels like, you know, true original Return to Form Trek, as I discovered in one of the interviews. And then with Nemesis, people, well, not people, who was it? I forget. I think it was Stuart Baird, not Stuart. Trying to remember because I read this, so I did read this and I enjoyed the shit out of it because I was so blown away by it. There we go. There's movie info. Whoa. There we go. And it blurred up again. Let's see. Oh, I remember what it was now. The studio was upset over how Nemesis did in the theaters. Because, one, they brought in an outsider to do the film, which was different because most of the people who have done Star Trek films, it was within the Star Trek family. And they don't know whether it was that. Yeah, Stuart Baird was the director. Yeah. And it was different. It was a whole new person being brought into the fold, and it really changed the game and whatnot. And they don't know whether to blame, you know, Stewart's involvement or what was it? Stewart's involvement or the studio's involvement or whatever. I don't know. And then I found out there was stuff that was cut out and whatnot in all the films, and then some of it was added back in, so that was pretty cool. I love Nemesis. Tom Hardy did a phenomenal job as Shinzon, and he was only 25 in this. Yeah, 25 years old in Nemesis. That was crazy. Because like, he's so baby-faced. How old was he in this? 25. It's crazy. He looks so much younger, but eh. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of Nemesis. Like, Nemesis was one of the films that deserves more credit than it's ever given. It really does. It deserves more credit. Easily. So. Yeah. This was awesome, though. Like... And then the story, TNG continues in these novels right here. Before Dishonor, Q&A, and Resistance. And this just came out last year, so it's still there. So it's about, basically the Borg are still coming after Picard and all that shit, from what I've gathered. And then this part intrigued the shit out of me. Warped Reflections. Because there's Lorca and there's Picard. And I was like, what? I was like, and it even says Picard versus Lorca. And I'm like, what? So I read the whole article because that was what really intrigued the shit out of me. And basically, they're the same character. And this is just, a quick run through. They're basically the same person, and they share the same trait of PTSD. If you don't know what PTSD is, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. And you're like, oh, what do you mean PTSD? Well, Lorca has PTSD from all the shit he's done in the Mirror Universe. And Picard has PTSD from being, kidnapped by the Borg and transformed into Locutus of Borg. So, yeah. And also throw in, what else was it that he was... Oh, not even just being transformed by the Borg. Him getting his heart stabbed in Tapestry. What else was that? There was some other shit too. Losing his family in Generations. Re-encountering the Borg in First Contact. Even a stretch in Insurrection with, reclaiming, getting his youth back on that planet. Pretty crazy. But yeah, like, read this article. You will be very surprised at how they're similar. And then that's it. And then you have the novels that you can pick up for the collection from Titan Books. We got art books. I love the art books. They're so cool. And then you have the novels. You have the autobiography of Kirk, Picard, and you have Star Trek Prometheus trilogy. So, yeah, it's awesome. So, that was Star Trek Picard, the Classic Chronicles. It is a hell of a book. I would highly recommend picking this up if you are a Trek fan. If you're not a fan of Trek, then why the hell did you watch this whole video? If you love Patrick Stewart's body of work, definitely pick this up for your collection. If you like in-depth character studies, but you're not a sci-fi fan, grab this up, man. I swear you won't be disappointed. Like, this is amazing. Like, it not only covers a show, but it covers characters and gives you full insight into how they work, which is amazing, and I love that. I'm hoping they do one for Cisco, because that's my boy. That's the HNIC. What's that? The head nigga in charge, man. Never saw Stanton, never saw Lean on Me. Check that shit out. Damn good Morgan Freeman movie. What else? I like these kinds of books because it gives you introspective and retrospective viewpoints on how the show's dynamics evolved over the years and what they did differently and how they evolved with the times, which is awesome. And that's what Trek was all about. Constant evolution, constant, pushing boundaries and going, above and beyond. I mean, they had a rape episode. They had, PTSD showcased. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, ooh, excuse me. Didn't mean to come off like that. So, yeah, if you like Titan books, if you're a fan of Titan books, definitely grab this up. Yeah. that's all I got. So I'll be back with another one. Stay tuned.